So again, good evening, everyone. It's a joy to see everyone that's able to be here tonight. I want to begin by saying thank you. Thank you for your presence, for your commitment, and your unwavering support of this branch and the mission of the NAACP. I also want to echo what I said in prayer. Our Freedom Fund banquet was a success because of you, because of your hard work, your generosity, and your spirit of excellence. It made it a powerful and inspiring event. The energy in that room reminded us all that the fight for freedom and equality is not over, but we are still strong, united, and determined. And as we move forward tonight, I pray that we continue to build on that momentum. Let's remain faithful to our calling to advocate, to educate, and to activate. Together, we are shaping a better future, one marked by dignity, opportunity, and justice for all. Thank you again for everything that you do, and not just for showing up tonight, but every single day to make a difference in our community. Tonight, we do need to have a motion to be able to suspend the rules, to be able to have the presentation on ranked choice voting. So, what is your pleasure tonight?
I move that we suspend the rules so we can have the presentation on ranked choice voting.
Seconded.
Been properly moved and second. Because our secretary is not here, I am going to say names now, and in the future, I ask that anyone would say their name aloud. So that is at-large member Laura Saul Edwards that made the motion, and communications chair Leah Matterall that seconded. Been properly moved and second. Are we ready for a question? All those who are in favor tonight, be it known by either saying aye or raising your virtual hand.
Aye.
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 Those who are opposed have the same right. The ayes have it. Thank you so very much. Our agenda is before us tonight. Our secretary is not here with us presently, as she is assisting someone that is in need tonight. So I do ask that you would be very patient and show grace tonight, as we will not be able to do our September minutes. But what we will do in November is make sure there are minutes for September and October for the entire group to be able to hear and to approve. I do ask that all of the officers on the line would put your name in the chat so that we have record of you being present tonight. All executive committee members, please put your name in the chat. And we will call on our treasurer to share our financial reports.
Good evening. Reverend Davis, do I have access to share?
Doing it as we speak.
All right. Give me 1 second there. Please let me know when you can see the screen.
We can see it.
Wonderful. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I will now share with you our September financial report. September is a busy month for the branch. It is normally a collection of Freedom Fund activities, as well as a lot of memberships come in between September and October. So we're going to share October's report with you. So to start with, the beginning balance was $6,239.28. Our deposited transfers were $35,779.42. Withdrawals came out to be $13,725.48. Ending balance was $28,293.22. Our reserve count beginning balance was $8,000. We withdrew $3,000 as a payback to the operation fund to help to support the Freedom Fund banquet pre-expenses, which gave us an ending balance of $5,000. Currently, our scholarship account has not been touched. All scholarships have been awarded out, and anything outstanding will come through in the next month or so. So if you go over a little bit here, I want to talk about our revenue. excuse me, what Act Blue does, just to give you information, is we collect money from our tickets and sponsorships. Act Blue then deposits money to us directly with their fees already taken out. So we had an Act Blue deposit, 6,982, 83. I won't read them all, but just give some of the big ones. $6,500. We have various memberships, as I say, have come in from our national refund for our scholarships. Excuse me, for our memberships. So we had a few of those, probably 5 of those. We were deposited direct checks for the banquet. Not everything came through Act Blue. Some things came through our checking account as well as PayPal. You'll see a $559 donation there from PayPal as well. Amazon gave us a direct deposit of $5,000, and we had an additional deposit Act Blue. Meaning that during the time frame that we were working on this report, we had collected $35,779.42. If we go over to our expenses, during this time we have our regular expenses, communications. We have 138. National Convention was 1240. We had several people to attend. I mean, our president attended the National Convention. We had our communication was 6250. Then we began to pay for the Freedom Fund banquet. As you can see, there's 3 entries for GMU catering, $3,000. We pay them in increments as we get funding in, we paid out. And then we had a $3,100 for our event planner, as well as our actions for our table settings and things needed for the Freedom Fund banquet. Those totaled out to be $13,725.48, which again gave us a balance of $28,293.22. Are there any questions, concerns, or issues about this particular financial report?
Madam Treasurer, I'd just like to make one correction where it says National Convention. That should be
Yes.
Virginia State Convention.
Okay, you're right. Absolutely. Sorry about that. Virginia State Convention, which did have several people to attend. I will make that correction and will be noted and filed. Any other questions?
Right.
Turn it back over to you, Madam President.
We have heard the financial reports. What is our pleasure about its acceptance tonight?
Madam Chair, I'd like to move that we accept this report with the note, the change, the one forthcoming.
Is there a second tonight?
I second that. This is Assistant Treasurer.
All right, I'm probably moving second. Are we ready for the question? All those who are in favor, be it known by saying aye or raising your virtual hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Those who are opposed have the same right. The ayes have it. Thank you so very much, Madam Treasurer.
You're
And
welcome.
while you're off mute, because we have committee updates coming, I'd like for you to just give us a few highlights from the Freedom Fund banquet. Let us know where we stand as a branch, please.
We stand excellent. Thank you so much, Madam President. The Freedom Fund banquet was a complete success. We had an extreme amount of feedback from the community, as well as anyone on this particular effort would want to give us information about it. We had a great turnout. We sold out early. We had a phenomenal and dynamic keynote speaker. The awards were given out to those who are really deserving, and we were able to be financial. We were able to meet all our obligations, and we were able to make just a little bit of money back. So it's a great thing all the way around. As you can see in September, a lot of funds were coming in. People were very generous, and we do appreciate that. We were able to have the banquet. We were able to give back to the community, because that's what it's about, making a nice event, plus also giving out some great awards, recognizing folks who've done great work all year. So we appreciate it highly, and I count it as a success.
Thank you so very much. And again, we thank the committee that worked tirelessly to make sure that it was a success. Thank you for your leadership, Ms. Nightingale and Tia Alfred as well, and all of the committee members. We salute you tonight.
Thank you.
I do have notes as well tonight from our Housing Committee. Unfortunately, we do not have a representative that's able to be here tonight because of prior obligations, but I do want to share this very important information. The NAACP has been coordinating with fair housing advocates to speak at the county board public meeting September and October about the high rates of housing discrimination uncovered during 2024 and 2025 testing in the NAACP's recommended policy solutions in our September 2025 and December 2024 letters. We will be speaking at public comment in the November meeting and continue to urge the county board to take action. The NAACP also continues to participate in the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments Regional Fair Housing Plan Advisory Committee, which is now focused on reviewing implementation updates from Arlington and Metro DC localities since they adopted the Regional Fair Housing Plan in 2023. We have been calling for more detailed and substantive updates that show a true commitment to addressing the substantial, fair, and affordable housing needs in our community. The NAACP has adopted the following housing legislative priorities for the 2026 General Assembly session. Affirmatively furthering fair housing grant program. We are working with Delegate Adele McClure and fair housing advocates across Virginia to introduce a budget amendment that would start a statewide competitive grant program for localities to address disparities in access to opportunity among neighborhoods. Anti-rent gouging local authority. We are working with statewide coalition to support giving local governments in Virginia the authority to adopt anti-rent policies that would cap the rate at which rents can be increased from year to year. We are asking NAACP members and supporters to contact the county board and to let them know that anti-rent gouging should be a part of their 2026 legislative priority package. We are looking for someone to serve as chair of the committee and to continue fighting for housing justice in Arlington. If you are interested, please let us know. This committee is working very hard for our community, and we salute them for all of the work that's being done. Also want to pause this evening and thank the scholarship committee. Gave a great report and information during our Freedom Fund banquet, so we all have that. And anyone who is still interested in having the updated reports, please let us know. We will send out everything that was shared at the Freedom Fund banquet as well. We thank those who represented us at the state convention this past weekend. Our representatives included Judith Knight, Kathleen McSweeney, and JD Julius Spain. We are grateful for them and their representation, and we look forward to hearing from them next month during our general membership meeting to give a recap and to share any action items that they brought back with them. I would have included them for tonight, but they just got back. So I'm going to give them an opportunity to collect their thoughts and to get them in writing for us all. Tonight, we are able to be a part of a time for education as well as empowerment in our community. We're grateful that Challenging Racism issued an invitation for us to participate in ranked choice voting education tonight. This is being recorded so that it can be shared with friends, family, and other community residents as well. This is one of our priorities, as it has come up so very many times in our community that people just do not have enough education on ranked choice voting. And so it is a priority here at the NAACP, as well as in our community, making sure that we all have the education and tools that we need to be able to make informed choices, especially as we prepare to go to the voting booths in just another week. And so I ask that everyone listen intently. If you have questions, please put them in the chat so that we might be able to make sure that all of your questions are answered tonight. We have a special guest with us who will present for us, Dawn Kaiser from Challenging Racism, and I will yield so that she can introduce herself to everyone here tonight and give us our presentation. Then we'll come back together for questions and comments at the end. Dawn, you are still muted.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chairman. I'm delighted to be here tonight. And I am joined tonight by two colleagues from Challenging Racism. Judith Knight, who attended the conference this past weekend, is here, as well as Kristen Moody from Challenging Racism. I know that we are among friends tonight, friends and colleagues, and that we work together in this county for equity. And I appreciate the common work that we do. We come with greetings from our executive director, Mo Brown, who couldn't be here tonight, but I also bring you greetings from Sally Hudson, the executive director of Ranked Choice Virginia, who has been working with Challenging Racism and other nonprofits in Arlington to help educate and familiarize members of this county about ranked choice voting. Tonight, my plan is to present to you a slideshow presentation that describes how ranked choice voting works. I want to talk a little bit about how it affects political discourse and campaigns. We will certainly open the floor for any questions that you might have. If ranked choice voting is familiar to you, there's a good reason for that. This is the second year that we have elections using ranked choice voting. Last year was the first where ranked choice voting was used for the election of county board in Arlington. We are using ranked choice voting again for our county board elections this year. The City Council of Charlottesville, Virginia, is using ranked choice voting for the first time this year in their election to elect city council members. Several other jurisdictions in Virginia are considering the implementation of ranked choice voting, including Fairfax, Falls Church, Loudoun, Norfolk, Richmond, and several others. So we are certainly not alone in this endeavor. So I am going to share my screen. Let me know if you cannot hear me or see my screen. Right. So early voting is already underway here in Arlington, in Charlottesville, Albemarle County. Early voting continues up until Saturday of this week. And early voting is a wonderful way to go ahead and get your ballots cast. We have a very active democratic process in Virginia that often nets a large field of candidates for office. So, for instance, the Democratic primary for lieutenant governor this year consisted of 6 candidates. And as you can see, when all the votes were counted for the Democratic primary for lieutenant governor, Hashmi won with a vote count of 27.5%. Stoney got very close to that, 26.5, Rouse 26.3. All 3 of them were very, very close together, but Hashmi won with a count of 27.5%. The person who got the largest percentage of votes won. In ranked choice voting in Arlington, it is not the person who at first count receives the most votes. In order to win a ranked choice voting ballot, the candidate has to receive more than 50% of the vote. Once again, in Virginia Congressional District 7, we have 6 Republicans, 7 Democrats in the competition. Candidates for Virginia Congressional District 10, 4 Republicans, 13 Democrats. When you have that many candidates, it is very, very likely that no one person is going to get a plurality or majority of the votes. In ranked choice voting, you have an opportunity to vote not just for one person. In Arlington, you're going to have the opportunity to vote for 3 candidates and to rank them in order of preference. So note that there's a grid. We have names of candidates to the left, and then the ovals that you would darken in just as you would for any election choice on the ballot. But we also have columns labeled 1, 2, and 3. So you decide who your first choice might be, and you would color in the oval in their column, the column number 1 for your first choice. For your next choice, you would color in the oval beside their name, but under the column number 2. And for your third choice, you would color in the oval in column number 3 beside their name, right? In ranked choice voting, you do not have to vote for more than one person. If you want to just vote for one person, you can color in oval number 1 and let it go at that. But what will happen in essence when people are choosing 1, 2, or 3 different candidates, as we count the votes, we in effect will see the effect of an instant runoff. So we see a familiar face, right? Let's take a look at Arlington County Board 2024 primary elections. J.D. Spain was a candidate in that race. And after the first counting of the ballots, we see 5 candidates that received votes. So candidate Spain received 6,547 votes, translated into 32.25%. Candidate Roy received 28.37%. Candidate Peterson, 23.57%. Candidate DeVita, 9.56%. And candidate Farnham, 6.24%. No one received more than 50% of the vote. In ranked choice voting, what we are going to do is to eliminate the person who received the fewest votes, candidate Farnham. We're going to look at their ballots, and the second and third choices on their ballot are going to be redistributed. Here's what that looks like. So we have crossed off Julie Farnham's name and redistributed the second and third choices that were on her ballots. And you can see that candidate Spain picked up a few, candidate Roy picked up several, candidate Peterson picked up some, and candidate DeVita picked up some too. But when we look at the percentages, we still see that no one has won over 50% of the vote. So we're going to recalculate once again. And this time, we're going to eliminate candidate DeVita's votes and then redistribute them. And this is what that looks like. All right. In this case, candidate Spain picked up a number of votes. Candidate Roy picked up a goodly number. In fact, in this vote, she goes ahead. And candidate Peterson picks up some more votes as well. And as we look closer, we can see that no one has received over 50% of the vote. And so we go through the same process one more time, taking candidate Peterson's votes and redistributing them according to second and third choices on the ballots to candidate Spain and candidate Roy. And here's what that looks like. And in this case, candidate Spain picked up quite a few votes. And candidate Roy picked up a number 2. But this tabulation put candidate Spain over 50%. And so candidate Spain was declared the winner of the Arlington County Board 2024 primary. Let me stop and take a breath for a second and ask if you need to see kind of how those votes tabulated again, or shall we go on with some frequently asked questions?
So what ended up happening with the dinner situation?
Oh no, I fell asleep. So I guess sometimes that people answer the question for me while I'm asleep.
Well, I had said to Dad that I don't feel well.
Someone needs to mute their their audio.
I'll say, I'm still full from television, so at least I'm not starving. I think that was the way that I started making it.
Well, let's go ahead then. Here are some frequently asked questions.
It's not gonna last forever.
Do you have to rank all the candidates in ranked choice voting? And no, you don't have to.
Community shots.
You can rank up to 3 candidates. How come 3 candidates? Well, the reason 3 candidates is because that's all that Arlington's voting machines can accommodate. They're getting kind of old. Our voting machines are about 10 years old. They're due to be replaced soon. When they are replaced, they will have space. I believe it's planned that they'll have space for 6 choices. So right now, we can only rank 3, and that is due to the restrictions of the machines.
It's a Zoom call. I don't, yeah.
You can use all of your rankings, and it's kind of a good idea too, because if your favorite doesn't win, you can still help pick the winner from among your backup choices. You don't have to pick 3. But if you've got a couple other people that you feel like you could live with, then that's a reason to rank them second and third choices. What happens then is a much greater number of the electorate has some investment in actually choosing the candidate that is elected. So in practice, 95+% of Arlington voters in June of 2024 ranked at least one of the top 2 candidates and voted in the final round. In the general election of 2024, candidate Spain went on to win handsomely the election for county board with a percentage of 57.98 of the total vote. So benefits also include the opportunity to support who they really like without fear of wasting your vote. Candidates tend to run a more inclusive campaign and build broader coalitions. And communities tend to elect leaders who represent a more diverse view of the people that they serve.
I don't think we have sound, Dawn.
You may need to restart and share with sound.
Dawn, there's no sound with the video.
Let's see if I can turn the sound on. Let's see if this is better. I am so sorry.
Address these concerns and allows more nuance and complicated perspectives in our community to be voiced and heard. Even if someone's top choice doesn't win, their second or third might, and that increases the influence that one voter can have in the election overall. We always say every vote counts, and ranked choice voting makes that even more true.
Ranked choice voting can bring the temperature down in our campaigns, which is a major benefit during this time in our nation where politics and rhetoric divide our families and communities. First, ranked choice voting improves civility and connection during the campaign by encouraging candidates to appeal to a broader audience. And instead of engaging only the voters most likely to support each candidate, we seek to discuss policy details with all voters to attract second and third choice votes from other candidates. And ultimately, this leads to better policy and representation after the campaign.
So, ranked choice voting is fairly new in Virginia, but this map shows where ranked choice voting is used. And I think it's very interesting to note that we've got a whole swath of southern states that have been using ranked choice voting for quite a while. In the case of military voting, where you are sending ballots to United States military personnel who are serving overseas, in the case of a runoff for an election, there simply is no time to send out ballots and get them back and send out ballots for a runoff or multiple runoffs. And so, in fact, what they have folks do, they have military folks casting ranked choice ballots already. One of the things that Ms. Cunningham said about elections, ranked choice voting tends to turn down the temperature and soften a lot of the bitterness and rancor in political campaigns. And I want to show you an example of a commercial. There was ranked choice voting in the in the New York primary for the mayoral race. And candidate Mamdani and candidate Lander decided to join forces and endorse each other for second place. Let's see what they have to say.
Hey, good morning.
How's it going?
Please go second.
No, I insist you go second.
How about I go first and you go second?
Well,
We both love New York City.
and that's why it's so important to not send scandal-ridden, corrupt Andrew Cuomo to City Hall.
New Yorkers deserve so much better than a disgraced creep.
Agreed.
Zoran, you've done a remarkable job building a historic grassroots campaign for a New York City all New Yorkers can afford.
Brad, you've been a principled, progressive leader in our city for years.
Early voting starts tomorrow, and we both know what we need to do to save our city from Andrew Cuomo. You want to tell him?
You go first.
Nah, you go first.
Let's do it together. We're cross-endorsing.
In New York City, we have ranked choice voting. That means you can rank up to 5 candidates for mayor.
Brad and I are officially telling our supporters.
Rank
I'm
me
your
number one, rank
Brad
Zoran number 2. Let's send Andrew Cuomo
Back to the suburbs.
So I should have said that is a campaign not without rancor, but there's a different tone to how those two gentlemen were supporting each other. All right. So let's open the floor for some questions or put questions in the chat if you have them. While you're doing that, I will ask my colleague Judith Knight and my colleague Kristen Moody if they have anything that they would like to add.
I think you did a great job. It can be a little confusing for people when they first see this, but again, I think being able to pick a second and third choice and know that you're still in the process, even if your first choice doesn't get selected. I think that is empowering. And I'm hopeful that it will encourage more people to get out and vote, because instead of saying the lesser of two evils or whatever the current perception is, you actually have more say when you have ranked choice voting. So
Yeah,
thank you.
thank you. And just a reminder, the one election on the ballot that's going to be ranked choice voting is for county board. The rest of the offices, the governor's race, those are going to be regular voting, just vote for one candidate. But for county board, it's the ranked choice voting. And you will see the grid as we saw in the slideshow. And you rank your candidates 1, 2, and 3. So just as always, it's a good idea to kind of do some of your research before you get into the polling place. As always, there will be sample ballots. It is stipulated by law that the county board candidates do not have a political party affiliation listed on the ballot. So you won't see a D or an R listed by anybody's name. But there is that kind of information on the sample ballot.
Dawn, I do have one thing to add. This is Kristen Moody.
Hi, Kristen.
Hi there. One thing that has struck me about this process is that you do not hurt your candidate's chances by putting a second and third choice on the ballot. And so I think that is often a misconception. But it ensures that if your first choice doesn't make it, your voice is still considered throughout the process. So,
yes.
So it just makes sure that your preferences and your voice is heard, and you do not hurt the chances of your primary choice.
Thank you. That's very important. Yeah. One of the other things that's been shown to happen is that when ranked choice voting is used, you come out with a more representative diversity of political candidates that are elected. I don't have a slideshow picture to show you, but statistically, ranked choice voting does help to increase diversity, equity, and representation, fair representation of the electorate. Any other questions? Well, thank you so much for your time and attention. It has been great to be here with you tonight. Don't forget to vote. Election Day is November 4th. And if you want to get out there and cast your ballot, Saturday is the last day for early voting. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dawn. We are so very happy this evening and enlightened by all that you have shared with us. And we thank you on behalf of the branch. All hearts and minds are clear tonight. We look forward to our November time of general meeting, and our general meeting will not be on its regular schedule for December. You will receive your correspondence next week, but we will for December join together in person for our holiday gathering. And so we look forward to seeing everyone face to face again and sharing in the days that are to come. Let us continue to support one another, because in times like these, it's very, very important that we show not only what we know, but show that we care for our neighbors and our friends, and especially those who are going through very difficult times due to the shutdown and due to not having enough resources. Let's look out for each other as best we can, because that's who we're called to be, community. And remember, the most important race that we are part of is the human race. We look out for each other. May the Lord watch between me and thee while we're absent one from another. Everyone have a blessed evening. If you'd like to stay on for a moment to ask questions or make comments, I welcome you to do so. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent presentation.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Dawn.